Hello, everyone. My name is Penny Bongato, and today I am very, very privileged to have a special guest in my program, in my conversation with friends. This man has been my mentor for the past 10 years when he first came to the Philippines, when I attended his workshop twice, and I couldn't resist attending his workshop in the US. I don't know how the money came, but it came. And he has been my mentor ever since. And he is also America's number one coach, success coach, co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series books and the success principles. He has also certified several trainers to be Canfield certified trainers in the success principles and the Canfield methodology. And I'm proud to say I am the first Filipino Canfield certified trainer in the success principles. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my mentor, and this is beyond my wildest dream that he said yes to me, Mr. Jack Canfield. Hi, Jack.
Uh, Hi, Penny. Glad you asked me. I'm really glad. I know you're really up early. I can hear the roosters in the background. It's the end of my day, so we're both kind of like, oh, where are we?
I have my cup of coffee that says, I don't know if
Great.
you can read it,
Yeah,
grateful.
grateful. Very good.
Yes. So I'm grateful you said yes. I'm deeply honored. So, Jack, how is it there in the US? I know in California it's also locked down, right?
Yeah, we are locked down. We've been locked down for about 10 days now, and I've not left my house once. My wife has gone out to get some groceries. We're wiping everything down that comes into the house with wipes and washing our hands. I saw someone the other day. They said I've I've washed my hands with alcohol so many times. I think my hands are going to have to go to rehab after all this. So it's like it's not too different from my life, except I'm not on the road. I'm not speaking. But when I'm home, I'm in my office. I'm writing. I'm doing webinars. I'm talking to people, which is what I've been doing nonstop for 10 days. I had a new book come out during all this called the Success Principles Workbook.
Yeah.
And normally I'd be doing interviews and podcasts anyway to try to promote the book, which is all these activities that people can do to put the success principles into practice and have them work. So I thought it would be a bad time to launch a book with everyone being at home and can't get out to bookstores, but we actually sold out of books on Amazon.com after the first 2 days. Now Barnes and Noble still has 1,000 copies, and people are reading at home, and so they're looking for things to do. So as much as I'm not out in the world, and everything that comes in, like when I open the mail, we have to wipe everything down and wash our hands afterwards and all that. Life goes on. It's pretty normal.
Okay. It's pretty normal, but we're all stuck in our
Yes,
houses.
we are. We are.
So for people like me and like you, I know that the BTS and TTT live has been put online, and my speaking engagements as well has been canceled. What do you advise for us to do now that we're stuck at home?
Well, everyone's stuck at home. And I think, fortunately, I don't have young children. If I had three, like a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old running around, I'd probably be going crazy too. I noticed the number out of the first 100 books on Amazon.com that are selling the most, it's children's books or books of parents, like, what to do with your kids. So I think there's a lot of stress out there. Husbands and wives are at home that normally don't spend all day together, and there's a little more stress there. But I think what we can do for those of us that are in the world of consulting and coaching and writing and so forth, I've delivered 2 speeches that I would have had to lose the income of by Zoom. I was talking to a church in Miami, and they had all their parishioners just go on Zoom and watch me give the same talk I would have given if I was there in their chapel. I did a retreat for I would say it was about 20 authors, and they all came. Normally they would come to my house, and my wife said, no freaking way, they're coming to our house. So basically we did it by Zoom, and everybody got value. It was great. They loved it. So I think we're all learning we can do more coaching, more contact, more meaningful conversations. People are having, like, I was invited to a Zoom dinner party tonight where everyone's going to put their computers around and we'll eat while we're talking to each other, and maybe For people who drink wine, we do that. There's a Zoom dance party that's been set up for Saturday night where everyone's going to they have a DJ that's going to be on the Zoom call and everyone's going to dance and have fun. So I think we have the ability to pivot and say, okay, what can I do from home? What services can I provide for people? And I think those of us that are in the coaching business, in the presentation skills and all of that, we're pretty lucky. You know, we can deliver our services either for free to benefit people like you're doing with your calls, or as a service that we can charge for. I think other people, one person I talked to, they own a gym where people can't come to the gym because they're not allowed to congregate. So he took all of his exercise equipment, called up all of his people that were coming to the gym before, said, look, I've sanitized all the equipment. I can deliver it to your house. You can pay a rental fee and continue to do your spin class on your bike or whatever. And I'll go online and teach you, you know, the exercises and how to lift weights and all that. So he's actually making more money renting his equipment than he was when he had people coming into the club for memberships. So I think there's a lot of ways most of us can begin to think about how can I pivot so that we can be more successful. And also, the final thing I would say about that is that every one of us has to ask, how can we be of service? Because if we don't have a thing we can do necessarily generate a lot of money real fast, is to say, how can I help people, calm them down, teach them skills, you know, entertain them, whatever it might be, so that when we do come out of this lockdown, I have a brand that's related to caring, service, compassion, love, and all of that, so that people are more likely to want to do business with me because I cared about them when they were scared, when they were locked down, when they were not able to succeed in the normal ways they do.
I love what you said about the gym give providing that service virtually as well, and now a lot of people are doing services for free.
Yeah, yeah. There are literally thousands of fitness trainers, yoga teachers, Pilates teachers who are offering their courses online right now. My wife was in a yoga class yesterday, in a Pilates class this morning, just sitting in front of her computer, you know, on the bedroom floor. So, and she's loving these people. She discovered two people she didn't know about. She said, I'm going to go take their workshops when this is over. So they're building their brand by giving something for free. And I think as we move into the new culture, we're never going to go back to what used to be normal. It's going to be a new normal. And I think that the people that are established themselves as people that are giving service out of love and their good quality are going to survive and do really well when it's all over.
What do you think, Jack, the new normal will be?
I think we'll be doing a lot more online. I think the society has been moving in that way anyway. I think we're going to be ordering a lot more online. We're going to be doing more of these kind of calls online. We're going to be having company meetings are going to happen more online. I think some sales trainings are going to happen more online. We don't need someone to fly from Baltimore to Dallas, Texas to do a sales training for an auto group when all the auto group could get online and have that same person teach the same stuff. You save the airfare. You're not polluting the environment as much in terms of all the carbon footprint of the planes. And you're probably going to be able to, the speaker's going to not have to be paid as much because they don't have like a day and a half out of their office, only like a couple hours, 3 hours, whatever it might be online, and then go back to their life. So I think everyone's seeing that that's possible. A lot of people were thinking about developing online courses and they didn't do it. Now they are. I think we're going to be a lot more aware that we're all in this together. With this idea of my country versus your country, you know, I'm not real proud of our president at the moment, you know, make America great, to hell with everyone else. We're realizing that doesn't work. You know, we have to be concerned with what's happening in China, what's happening in Italy, what's happening in other countries, because we are one humanity. I think the other thing we're seeing is that with the amount of pollution that's gone down, because nobody's driving, well, not nobody, but very few people are driving to work right now. I saw a picture today of India. There's some arc in Delhi, like an arch, where 10 days ago you couldn't see the sky. It's totally blue right now. And so people are going to go, well, why? Maybe we should get to electric cars sooner and have clean air and not suffer from asthma. We need to be not destroying the rainforest. You know, I listened to the shaman talk, and he talked about the fact that we're destroying all sources of life. The rainforest, where our oxygen comes from, the ocean, where so much of our oxygen comes from, and our food sources come from. We're destroying our coral reefs, which support our fish. you know, and we could go down the list. I don't want to, you know, turn this into an environmental sustainability talk, but the idea is, you know, when we're kids and we do something bad, our parents say, you're getting a timeout. They send us to our room and we can't watch TV and we have to think about what we did. We're all sent to our room right now and we have to think about what we've been doing. We
Mm-hmm.
can't run as fast as we've been running. We can't be as overwhelmed as we've been being. We can't, you know, leave our family and not spend time with them. We're forced to do things that are actually more natural than what we've been doing. And the reality of that, I think we're all going to learn how to be together better. People are talking to their neighbors. People are helping their neighbors. They're reaching out to the elderly who can't go to the store and buy food. The people in Idaho are sending ventilators to the people in New York, trusting that the people in New York will send them back to Idaho when they need them. We're all starting to realize we have to act as one humanity. America is starting to realize it's not 50 states, it's one country. We're starting to realize it's one world. We just had today the Boston Patriots football team owner sent a private jet to China, bought 1 million face masks and brought them back because he could do that. Well, it's forcing him to think about, here I'm this rich guy, maybe I should be doing more for my local community, which supports me. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that kind of activity going on.
I like that, act as one humanity,
Yes,
because I've seen that countries, as you mentioned, are fighting against each other. Now we're helping each other
right,
as one.
right, right.
So Jack, many people, I've talked to many students of mine, and they feel, because I teach in college, in the university, and they feel overwhelmed. They can't go out of their house. They can't exercise. They can't do a lot of things. I hear people waking up at 2 o'clock. I did that. Woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I could feel my heart beating. Somebody couldn't sleep. They just feel overwhelmed with all that's happening. What what success principle can we use for them and teach them on how to handle this situation?
Well, the basic principle that we start everything with, as you know, is E plus R equals O. There's an event, you have a response to the event, that equals an outcome. So right now we have an event called the coronavirus epidemic, pandemic. We also have an event called most people are sequestered in their homes. They can't get out. They're not supposed to get out. So what happens, what we're facing is that the outcomes we're producing are based on the limited amount of responses we have. So we're all addicted to the habits of how we live our life. It's not true you can't exercise. You can exercise at home. You can run in place. You can do yoga. You can do push-ups. You can get a bicycle and do a stationary bike. You can do all those things. You can probably, in most cases, actually walk outside as long as you don't get next to anybody else and you don't go too far from home. If you have a dog, you have a really good excuse. I saw a cartoon recently. It showed this dog. He was up on top of the counter in the kitchen. He said, "I'm not going for any more walks," you know? And so basically, the reality is that most of us realize we don't know how to be with ourselves. We don't know how to meditate. We don't know how to entertain ourselves unless we have television going all the time. We don't know how to be alone. We don't know how to get along with our brothers and sisters. We don't know how to be creative. Most people have forgotten how to play board games, do puzzles, you know, have community crafts, make things together. You know, craft stores are booming in America. It's curbside pickup because you can't go in. You have to
Mhm.
call online or they deliver to you. People are starting to teach their children to cook. People are trying new recipes, you know. So we're bored. Boredom is defined by psychologists as a demand on the environment to entertain you. So you're bored because the environment's not entertaining
Right.
you. Most students today are just living these very fast lives of a distraction, you know, your cell phone, your email, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're being forced to say, what happens if we slow down to the pace of humanity? You don't see people in the jungle that are growing up and being bored. They have
Yep.
plenty of things to do, you know. It's we get bored when we don't have, like when the electricity goes off and you don't have all of your normal, you know, things to do. So I think that it's important. The other thing I think that people are experiencing along with the boredom, if you will, or the overwhelm of what do I do, is that they don't know how to stop the fear going on in their heads. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
will I live? Will my grandmother live? Will my children get sick? Will I be able to pay the rent? Will I be able to buy food? The fact is, everyone listening to this, with a few exceptions, and I don't want to discount that, there are people who have relatives that are ill or perhaps have died. There are people that are compromised with their immune systems that are at high risk. But most people, the research shows that over 90 99% of people are going to survive this. And it's a virus. It's like a flu. It's the worst flu we've known in our generation, maybe 100 years, because there's no buildup of immunity toward it. And it goes into our respiratory system. It's a very strong reaction. But if you're not already compromised, your chances of dying from it are very, very, very small. So everyone listening to this, with a few exceptions, are okay. They're healthy. You've got food in the pantry. You've got things you can do. You've got the internet you can go to. You have electricity. You have access to more food in the supermarkets. Probably have enough toilet paper. And even if you didn't, there are other ways to clean your butt: cold water and washcloths and old socks that don't match and God knows what. So we've become so addicted to comfort. You know, it's interesting to have to confront when it's inconvenient. But the point being that fear is created by going into the future and imagining things that haven't happened yet. And so even if there was a snake in your room right now and you got afraid, it's because you imagine a snake biting you, not because there's a snake in the room. You have to go into the future. So I tell people there's 3 basic things you can do to get out of fear. Number 1, visualize the positive. Expect you're going to do okay. You know, you've survived everything that ever happened to you up until now. You'll probably survive this. The second thing is start, you know, you teach people tapping, I'm sure, because I taught you how to do that. So you should be teaching everybody, all your students, how to do tapping, and they should be doing it anytime they feel the fear, anxiety shows up, if they're having heart palpitations, wake up at 2 in the morning, whatever. And the third thing is if you can get into any kind of movement, whether it's dancing, doing exercise, jumping jacks, walking, you know, treadmill, whatever, movement brings you into the present moment. Because you have to stay in the present to do it. Dancing is the best thing to do of all the things you can possibly do. You know, put on your iPhone earbuds or whatever and just dance. Play with your dog, play with your kids, move. The other thing is they found that what brings you into the present moment is doing something you're really good at. So let's say you're really good at playing the piano. When you're playing the piano, you're in the present moment. You're not in playing the guitar, oil painting, crocheting something, sewing, whatever it might be. Then I think the last thing is meaningful communication. I think when you isolate and you start to go into your own mind without communication back and forth, it can tend to be very difficult. I think for young people, especially people that are in college and university, reach out to the older members in your family, FaceTime them, Zoom call them, Skype them, do whatever you can to stay in communication, because loneliness is one of the biggest things that is hurting people. And finally, I would say when you're in fear, all the energy goes to the adrenaline, which is basically put you in fight or flight. So we're used to like running from tigers, let's say, when we're afraid. Takes the energy away from your immune system, because when you're running from a tiger, your body doesn't think about, oh, I should be fighting off this bacteria. It figures if the tiger eats me, it doesn't matter what's going on with bacteria and viruses in my body. So all the energy's out here. When you have a virus, what happens is your immune system comes into play, and it basically says, stop doing everything else. I want you to lie down. It gives you a fever. It makes you a body ache. You don't want to move. So all the energy can go to your immune. Now, when you're in fear, you're taking yourself out of the ability of the body's immune system to do what it does. It actually lowers your immune system. So it's really critical to do the things that take you out of fear, that bring you into love, harmony, joy, meditation, all the meditation techniques you teach. And the heart math, quick coherence exercise gets people into a high vibration. The most important thing you could do right now is be in a high vibration of love, joy, positive expectation, appreciation, gratitude. You have your grateful cup you held up there. Focus on the things you do have. See, when you're isolated at home, you're thinking of all the things I can't do. Well, think of all the things you can do, and then be grateful for that.
Yeah, my grateful cup. Jack, you met my grateful cup. I remember I had a speaking, and just sharing with you, I had a speaking engagement, and they told me, Miss Penny, we can't give you any token. We don't have the budget. Is there anything we can get for you? I said, there is a coffee shop that has a mug that says grateful. So they got me this.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So, you did mention about fear, fight or flight, and many people fear. And there was one person in our group who said, we need to have a goal and focus on that goal to be able to get through this. How
Yeah.
important is goal setting now when we don't even know what tomorrow will bring?
I think it's very, very, very important. First of all, you have a goal, you want to survive this thing. Secondly, you can have a goal. What would you like to accomplish during this period of time? Maybe there's that book you've been thinking of writing. Maybe there's that course you wanted to take online. Maybe you wanted to learn another language. Maybe you wanted to learn a song on your guitar. Maybe you want to develop your online presence, develop a website, develop an online marketing presence. Whatever it is that you want to do, that you wanted to do in the regular world, now you have time to do it. I'm telling people this is the time to take an online course. I mean, we have more people signing up for our Breakthrough to Success online course now and our Train the Trainer online than we normally do, because people realize I'm at home, I have extra time, I'm not commuting to work, I've got an hour or two extra a day from that. So I don't want to just sit around and watch reruns of television shows, and binge
Yeah.
watch on things that are meaningless. Why not use this time to be creative and powerful? So I recommend everyone create a breakthrough goal. What would be something that would literally take you to the next level if you achieved it during this period of time? And it might be finding a way to do your business online. It might be finding a way to fulfill some dream you've had a long time that you never thought you would do. I mean, I'm teaching myself to speak Spanish so I can talk to people in Spanish, which I know is valuable where you live. I'm also listening to some TEDx talks or things that I've wanted to listen to and learn about. I'm studying Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, which I think is really very valuable. Been working with Dawson Church and his Echo meditation, where he combines EFT and heart math stuff and stuff. This is really cool. Everyone should check out Dawson Church. Go to EFT Universe, EFTuniverse.com. He teaches something called Echo meditation, and it's up. You can just go to meditations on his little button up on the right hand side. And he now has peer-reviewed, journal-published research that if you do this meditation he teaches for 7 days in a row without missing a day, it increases the immunoglobulins in your saliva by 113%. The coronavirus is going to come in through your nose or your mouth, possibly your eyes, but mostly your nose or your mouth. It's got to do that to get to your lungs. If your saliva, which it has to pass through because it's coating your throat and your mouth, it's double the amount of immunoglobulins it used to have. It means it's twice as effective at fighting off the virus. And so we need, again, it's a high vibration, but it also brings the immune system up. So these are things that we can be doing right now and learning to do and having a goal of surviving and thriving. So you can leave this, however long this lasts, 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, we're home. We don't know right now. You can come out healthier. You can come out wiser. You can come out educated with new skills, perhaps even new certifications. Because, you get certified online to be one of our trainers by just doing stuff online, answering some questions, writing a little video, and then sending it in, and you're done. So there's a lot of opportunities like that for people right now.
I know I've seen, I will check out the EFTuniverse.com that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's ECO, Echo Meditation. ECO.
Echo
Yeah.
meditation. Okay, echo meditation. I'll check that out.
Yeah, and share that with students.
Go ahead, Jack.
I said share that with all your students as well.
Yes. My students, I'm meeting them on Monday, so I have something to share with them.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
These are really college students because classes have been, like in the US, have been stopped.
Right.
We're trying to do online training, online teaching. However, internet connectivity is not stable here, so not everyone can have internet connectivity. So we'll find ways. There is always a way.
And the new normal, we come out of this, everyone in the Philippines is going to go, we need better internet connectivity. And they will demand it, and you will get it.
And that's what we've been saying. We need this. We need a new, we need better connectivity.
Yeah.
Yes, we know that. And one of the things that you mentioned as well is movement. I've seen dancing, and that person is all alone in his house. I don't know if you've seen it or it's just in the Philippines. I can send it to you. And he had a full-length mirror, so he was dancing with himself.
Yeah, there you go.
Touching the mirror and all the salsa dance and the swing dance, he was dancing by himself. It was so cool. That's really
Didn't we all do that? I think we all did that when we were teenagers, trying to improve our cool moves.
okay, Jack. Jack, could you talk to us about your workbook?
Yeah, so here we have the Success Principles workbook. It just came out literally yesterday as we record this, and it's selling really, very well. And what it is, I've taken 17 of the principles from the Success Principles book. And what I've discovered was, and you know as well, is that when people come to a workshop or they work with a live coach, they get much better results than if they just try to do it on their own. But a lot of people couldn't afford that, didn't want to do that, whatever. And so I said, let's put a coach between the covers of a book. And let's put the exercises that we use in our live seminars, that we use in our coaching programs, the same worksheets, the same exercises, all of that, and put them in there in such a way that it actually takes people from where they are to where they want to be in 17 weeks or less. So most people, I say, take a week, focus on one principle. There's 17 principles in the book, and 100% responsibility, clarify your purpose, clarify your vision, set goals, use affirmations, use visualization, get into action, ask for what you want, ask for feedback, don't fear rejection, how do you overcome fear, so on and so forth and so on. So basically, these are the core principles that millionaires and billionaires and successful people like yourself have learned to use, and they're successful. So basically, we then said, let's take 60 people, create a beta test, just give them the book, they've never been exposed to the principles, and let them work with them for several months and see if they can actually get the same results we were getting live. And they did. So we know that it works as a workbook by itself. And so we're excited. And basically the feedback we're getting after just even a couple of days, I've had some people have actually read 2 of the chapters already and started applying the principles, is very positive. So anyone listening to this, if you really want to take your life to the next level, have more income, more time off, better health, happier and more fulfilling relationships, you want to be able to make a bigger difference in the world, get that internet connectivity you want in the Philippines. So
Yes.
whatever it is, this book will help you do that. And literally, I don't know what it's going to cost in the Philippines. It costs about 20 bucks here. That's about $5 a Starbucks coffee. So basically, you know, for less than 5 cups of coffee, you can transform your life. There's no excuse. You have the time right now. So you can go online and get the book. It's also available as a Kindle book. You can download it as a digital download and start doing it that way. You don't have to worry about the book being delivered through the mail. Wait for it.
Okay, I ordered it. I ordered one already. But for the Philippines, we might have to wait for quite some time because it will go to the post office, and the post office is closed. And
Well,
but
that's why I
it
say
will happen.
you could start with a digital version of the book, and then later you could always get the copy if you want. And then the next time I'm in the Philippines, I'll sign it for you.
Oh yeah. But next year I'll go to TTT. I'll assist once again. So I'm
Very good.
assisting. I'm assisting on the online. By the way, I've been asked because
Oh,
of.
thank you. Yeah, that's going to be great. See, here we are. We normally do a training, 50 people from all over the world. Can't do that right now. And all of a sudden we have to go, well, can we provide the same level of training online? Not totally, but a lot of it. So we're going to do some free stuff online in addition to doing the actual live training later. So people are getting more value now instead of less value. And we're learning how to be more creative using the internet to actually deliver something to people, let's say in Iran or where we can't go or they can't get visas, that we never would have been able to do before with a live component. So I'm excited about it.
And I'm I'm excited to be assisting you once again, even though it's online and breakout rooms for this part of the world. So, Jack, once again, any last words for us in the Philippines, for everyone who's listening to this conversation, my dearest conversation with you?
I think the major thing I would say to everybody is focus on 2 things. Focus on your attitude. Know that we're going to get through this. We always have. The stock markets will come back. International trade will come back. Businesses will thrive again. You know, you guys have gone through some tough hurricanes over there. I remember I was in the Philippines right after one happened. Got to meet the prime minister of the president, whatever you have over there, the woman at the time, and it was pretty devastating. And you guys came back, and so we will come back from this. What's different about this, which is actually a good thing, when you had a hurricane or what you call it, a tsunami, a typhoon, or what do you
iPhone.
call it? Typhoon in the Philippines, it was yours. Now this is everybody's. So it's
Yes.
not like we go, oh, that's so happening in China, that's the Philippines. We don't care what's happening with Ebola in Africa. We're all in this together. So I think that we're going to come out of this much happier and actually better as a world. We will get through this. I would say the second thing to focus on is your health. You know, we know that if you take more vitamin C, if you take zinc, if you eat elderberry, there's a number of things. I won't try to become a doctor right now, but there's a number of natural remedies. Go online, type in natural remedies, vitamins, supplements that will, boost your immune system. There's a lot of them. You can order those online. You can, many of them are going to be herbal things that some of your natural doctors have been doing in the Philippines for centuries, and take advantage of that. Like yin chow is a Chinese herb that they've been using in China along with Western medicine, that so many people in Wuhan actually survived and are doing really well right now. So this is a time to be doing a little research. And when you find out something, then actually do it. Make sure you're staying warm, because the viruses don't like heat. So drink tea, which
Yep.
I know a lot of people do in the Philippines anyway.
Mhm.
So just stay happy, reach out. You are responsible to manage your emotional state. And
Mhm.
then, one of the things, I'll end with this. One of my great teachers once said, be a student to those above you, be a teacher to those below, and be a fellow traveler with those on the same level. So whoever's listening to this, if you have something that can help somebody, do that, teach them. If there's something you need, ask someone to help you. And for the rest of us, let's just walk side by side and help each other get through this.
And we will get through this.
We will.
And this too shall pass.
Absolutely. It always has.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Thank you for the privilege of having this conversation with you, for interviewing you and teaching us once again on how we can get through this global crisis. This is not just the US, nor China, nor the Philippines. This is humanity. So even though we're all apart, at the end of the day, we're just one.
We are
So
indeed.
thank you once again.
My
Ask, ask,
pleasure. Thank
ask,
you.
ask. And you said yes. Thank you so much, Jack. And stay safe, stay home.
I will do that. You too.
Okay, thanks, Jack.